Hi. Okay. So making your way onto your mat. Let's hopefully I am in the screen here. Whew. Let's start our practice with just a couple of grounding breaths today. So before you really settle in, just wherever you are seated, close your eyes, take a big inhalation in, feeling the navel expand. And then as you exhale, sigh it out. Let it be audible. Whew. And just a couple more. And then last time. All right. Now that we've shifted a little bit of energy, now let's come to a more appropriate, comfortable seat to really anchor into our practice. You can be sitting cross-legged, you can be in Virasana or Hero's pose. And let's just take a minute to feel into what's going on in our bodies today. So with the eyes closed, just notice the the texture of your clothing where it meets your skin. Notice the temperature of the environment that you're in. Kind of shift your weight back just a little bit so that your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Take a conscious breath in and notice how the spine starts to elongate. And then as you exhale, you're going to drop your shoulders down away from the ears, softening through the rib cage and the stomach, letting the muscles of the face relax. Just start with a couple like neck and shoulder stretches. So as we take a conscious exhale, you're going to drop your right shoulder to your left ear. Then you'll bring your right hand on top of the head. And just take a couple breaths here, noticing what that feels like for you on the left side. You can deepen into this by taking your left hand to the mat, right in line with your hip, and then walk your hand away so that the fingers begin to hover. This is going to take the stretch down into your arm and through your hand. And you can stay here for a couple more breaths, just noticing the tension and tightness, if you have any, in your neck and shoulders. And if you want to start to open up through the front of that left shoulder, you're going to take that left hand behind your back and maybe kind of anchor it in on that right hip. So drop the left shoulder further away from the ear. Keep bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder and breathing into any tightness or resistance that you may be met with. Start to slow down your breathing if it hasn't happened already. And then very slowly on the inhale, you're going to unwind. Move very, very mindful here. We have all these little muscles and tendons in our neck. We don't want to move too quickly. So your next exhale, you drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Take a breath and notice what this feels like compared to the other side. Then the left hand comes on top of the head for just an additional challenge. You can bring the right hand in line with the hip, walking the hand away so the fingers hover. And just feel into each expression before you move to the next one. And then maybe if you want to go deeper, if you want to open up through that right shoulder, you take that hand back and behind. Draw the right shoulder back, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Big breath in, breathing through the trap, the front of the right shoulder, and through the arm. We'll go ahead and inhale, release, come back to neutral. And if you're sitting cross-legged, uncross and then recross the legs. Kind of stretch the other hip. Great. We're going to take just a couple rounds of seated cat-cow. So on the inhale, you're going to draw your arms up and intertwine your fingers. Press the palms towards the sky. Feel the spine lengthen. You can bring the gaze up towards the ceiling if you'd like. And then as you exhale, you're going to round through your spine, drop the palms about heart height, and bring the chin towards your chest. Moving with the breath here, inhale, the gaze and the palms go up, feeling the sternum lift. And then exhale, you round as you feel the back of the neck, The thoracic spine, get a nice stretch. Inhale, come center. One more round of these seated cat-cows. And we'll come back to neutral. So taking a couple gentle twists here. We're still warming up in our practice. So on the next inhale, you bring both arms back up overhead. Find that extension in your torso. And as you exhale, the left hand is going to come to the right knee and the right hand comes back behind you. Use it as a kickstand. So you don't want to be leaning backwards. You really want to keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. Inhale, lift the sternum and heart, and exhale, deepen into the twist. And let's pause here for a few extra breaths. Slowing down those inhales and exhales, keeping you present and mindful in this moment. But also notice where that resistance is in your body. When you inhale, you can feel the breath expanding the whole body. But where does it stop? Where are you met with a little bit of pushback? We're not judging, we're just noticing that in the moment. So inhale, we come center, and then exhale, right hand, left knee as we twist to the left. And a couple more gentle breaths here. So in this moment where I'm being met with resistance or a little bit of tension, I guess, is behind my right rib cage. So when I inhale, I can feel my body expanding. And then I get to a certain spot behind the right ribs that I feel that I'm like hitting a wall. So that's what I mean by noticing the resistance in the body. Inhale, we're going to come center. And exhale, we're coming right into a tabletop. If you would like, you can take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. You can draw some circles with the hips if you want. But in the next breath cycle, we are coming to a neutral tabletop. We're going to take our left foot back behind us, keep that foot in line with the hip and the toes towards the earth. Broaden across your shoulders. And on the next inhale, bring the right hand in line with your right shoulder, thumb towards the sky here. Really press through the heel of the foot and reach with the fingers of the right hand, finding extension through the body, starting to tap into that core strength, keeping the breath steady, and see if you can create this free-flowing energy channel right through the body. One more breath, just like this. And then exhale, we're going to come back to tabletop. Moving into a thread the needle on this side. As you inhale, you're going to lift that right arm up, opening up through the front of the shoulder. And then exhale, thread the needle, come on down. Walk your left hand to the top of your mat, tent your fingers, and then let your elbow be at a 45-degree angle. Your next inhale, you're going to take your left foot straight back behind you. You can keep the toes tucked if you like. Or if you're feeling playful, you can float that left foot in line with the hip. So we're starting to open up through the shoulder here, working the core, and just noticing those blockages in our physical body. Noticing where the breath expands to and right where it stops. Take one more breath wherever you are. And then on the next inhale, you'll slowly begin to unwind out of this tabletop, out of this thread the needle, and back to a tabletop. Let's take a couple rounds of cat-cow. Again, these are just options. If cat-cow isn't your thing, you can draw circles with the hips and shoulders. And then the next inhale, you take that right foot back behind you. So you want to keep the toes towards the earth and the foot in line with the hip. Engage through your core, and then draw the left hand in line with the left shoulder. Thumb towards the sky here. And breathe. I know you're focusing on keeping yourself stable, you're finding extension through the body, but make sure that breath is nice and steady. Remember, these equal inhales and exhales are going to keep you in this present moment. They're also going to be the first indicator if you're too deep in a pose. So if the breath becomes labored at any point, just back out. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. We're going to move back into thread the needle. So inhale, lift the left arm. And then exhale, take that hand down to the mat. Bring the right hand to the top of the mat. And then maybe you straighten the right leg back behind you. You can be playful here if you want and lift that foot up in line with the hip, really engaging through the core. The breath is steady. And then slowly in your next breath cycle, you'll begin to make your way out of this pose. As we come back to tabletop, let's tuck the toes, lift the seat, and come into a downward facing dog. And just pedal it out, finding a nice stretch through the soles of your feet, through your hamstrings. Feel the muscles of your lower back expand. And then very slowly, you're going to take a bend in the knees, switch the gaze, and hop, step, or float to the front of the mat. Exhale and fold. Let's spend a few extra breaths hanging heavy here. So really anchoring down into your feet, elongating through the hamstrings. So kind of press through your heels to lengthen through the hamstrings. Let the torso be heavy here. You can even intertwine the fingers and bring them to the back of the head. And come back to that breath. So here in the standing forward fold, as you inhale, you may be able to feel your abdomen expand with the breath. And then as you exhale, you can soften and go a little deeper. Next time you take a conscious in-breath, can you follow the breath until you are met with resistance? And then very slowly, you're going to release the hands. And then one vertebrae at a time, you'll roll up to a standing position. The head and neck will come last. It's starting to build a little bit of heat in our practice. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, we hinge forward, hands move towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we're going to step the right foot back. Low lunge here. High on the ball of that right foot. Left knee on top of the left ankle. Start to engage the core. Then you're going to bring your right hand, there we go, right hand, fingers tented inside of your left foot. Inhale, lift the sternum. Exhale, lift the left arm up as we come into a twist here. So stay high on the ball of that back foot. The gaze can be up towards the sky or down at the earth. You start to deepen into this twist by drawing the left shoulder back. Anchoring in through your footing, making sure you're feeling nice and grounded. On your next inhale, you're simply going to lift the torso as you come up into a revolved warrior two. So we're twisting to the left. Your thumbs are towards the sky, your fingers are spread wide. Getting a big stretch for that IT band, the outside of that left hip. High on the ball of the right foot, so big stretch for that right hip flexor. Still twisting. These twists get deep into our detox organs. These are where we house emotions like anger and worry and fear. So sometimes when we're twisting, these emotions may bubble up. Just breathe through whatever sensation you may be experiencing. And then inhale, you come center into a crescent warrior. Exhale, both hands to the mat. Take that left foot back to downward dog. And then move through your vinyasa. We'll meet back in down dog. Send a couple extra breaths here, really stretching it out, trying to be this clear channel of breath and energy through the body. And then you bend the knees, you switch the gaze, and you hop, step, or float to the front of the mat. Inhale, coming up to standing. Pausing for a moment in mountain pose. And then drawing the arms up overhead. Exhale, you hinge at the hips as the hands move towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, take that left foot back, high lunge. Really anchoring down through that right foot here, high on the ball of the left foot. Fingers tented of the left hand inside of the right foot. Follow the inhale as the sternum and heart lift. As you exhale, you deepen into the twist, raising the right arm. If you can, close the eyes here. What is happening in the body? Where are you contracting? Where are you stretching? Where are you meeting a little bit of pushback? Feel the sensations of the body. What is happening inside in this moment? Remember to keep the breath steady. Remember that's going to keep you balanced and calm. And use your next inhale, the strength of your core, and lift up into this revolved warrior two. So we're twisting to the right, guys. Make sure your thumbs are towards the sky, your fingers are spread wide. Check in with your shoulders. So you don't want to be leaning forward here. Really shift yourself back so that your shoulders are stacked over your hips. Breathing into the twist. So in this twist, we are applying a little bit of pressure to our kidneys, to our adrenals. The adrenals are the first line of defense against stress. Just wringing those out. Inhale, we come center, crescent warrior. Exhale, hands to the earth. Take that right foot up and back, downward dog. Maybe you move through a vinyasa. And then we're going to meet in a wide kneed child's pose. And just take a couple resting breaths here. So now that we've built a little bit of heat in the body, we can pause and just follow that breath, that expansion of breath to where that resistance was. So take a big conscious inhale and see if you can feel the breath expand all the way out through the body, or maybe you're still feeling a little bit of tightness. If you're still feeling that resistance or tightness wherever it is in the body, bring your awareness there and take another conscious breath, this time directing the breath to where you feel the tightness. And then as you exhale, give that area permission to soften. All right, keeping on moving. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our seat, make our way back to downward dog. Take a bend in the knees, switch the gaze. We're coming back to standing forward fold. Hanging for an extra breath. Exhale, move a little bit deeper. And then on the inhale, you're going to roll back up to standing. And let's pause here in mountain pose. Close the eyes. Really anchor in. Feel your feet where they meet the mat. Feel the full body engaged here. Feel your breath expanding through the entire body. What do you notice in this moment? What is going on for you inside? So on the next inhale, you draw both arms up overhead, kind of gathering the heat and warmth of the sun. Exhale, you hinge at your hips as you offer something to the earth. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, we're taking the right foot back. So we've been here before. Bringing the right hand back inside of that left foot. Inhale, lift your heart and sternum. And then exhale, come back to that twist. So this should feel familiar as we were here not too long ago. Take a couple extra breaths, just anchoring in here. And I want you to move your right hand so it's about a palm's width in front of your left foot. Anchor down through your left foot and your right hand. And as you inhale, you're going to lift your right foot off of the mat, maybe, and come into a revolved half moon pose. So you're keeping your right heel in line with your hip, just like we did in the extended tabletop earlier. And it's okay to be wobbly, guys. Take another breath, really anchor in here. Feel the strength and support of your body. So this is going to require a little bit of a trust fall to come out of it. So trust yourselves, trust your body. As you inhale, you take a slight bend in the left knee, lift the torso, and as you exhale, you land in that revolved warrior two. Very nice. Inhale, crescent warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take that left foot up and back, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and then peel that hip open. You can draw some circles with the knee if you like. And then maybe you move through a vinyasa or you skip it and just hang out in down dog for an extra breath. The next inhale, we bend the knees, we switch the gaze, and we hop, step, or float to the front of the mat. Exhale and fold. And then inhale, come to standing. Pausing for a moment in mountain pose. Checking back in with yourself. Taking a moment to find some clarity. And then big inhale in, the arms go up overhead. Exhale, you hinge, offer something to the earth, let something go. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step the left foot back. So this is going to feel familiar. Bring the left hand inside of the right foot, fingers tented. Inhale, lift the sternum, lift the heart. And then exhale, lift the right arm as you twist. And breathe. Notice the resistance in your body. And start to go beyond the physical sensations. So remember, sensation can also be mental or emotional. So talking about resistance in the body, are you resisting mentally? Is this pose, are you limiting yourself in this pose because of a thought or a fear? You're going to take that left hand and kind of bring it, a palm's width or a full hand width in front of your right foot. Anchor down through the right foot. Trust here. Inhale, lift the left foot, revolved half moon. Breathe into the challenge, guys. Trust your body. Notice where that resistance is lying. Is it a mental sensation like self-doubt? Is it a physical sensation like your hamstring is really tight? Where is that resistance? All right, back to that trust fall. Inhale, little bend in the right knee as you lift the torso and land. Revolved warrior two. Inhale, you come center, crescent warrior. Exhale, move into three-legged dog. Peel that right hip open. You can draw circles with the knee. And then maybe you take vinyasa, or maybe you don't. And we're going to meet in wide-kneed child's pose. Closing the eyes when you get there. And we're in wide-kneed child's pose because we're starting to get into the energy of the hips, that lower back, the outside of the hips, the groin. We're in a forward fold. So here's this opportunity to have a little quiet moment with yourself. And then check in here. What is happening inside of you in this moment? Can you feel your pulse? Can you feel your heart? Take an extra breath. Making our way back into a downward facing dog. We're going to move through 3 rounds of vinyasa. Keep the energy moving, keep moving with the breath. I have a rainstorm coming, so I'm getting out of the rain, and I will meet you guys in just a moment. So don't forget to breathe, guys. For your third vinyasa, we'll meet in a standing forward fold, safely out of the rain. All right, getting back into our practice. Last time, inhale, come to standing. Pausing for a moment in mountain pose. Breathing into the sensations of the body. And then one more time, inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, we hinge forward. Inhale to that flat back. Exhale, we're stepping the left foot back this time, but we're gonna drop the left knee and drop into the pelvis here. So we're gonna come into a lizard lunge here. So you wanna heel toe that right foot kind of towards the edge of your mat. Making space for your shoulders to come inside of that right knee. And for an added challenge, you can tuck your toes here and lift the hips. This is gonna be a really deep sensation. Or you can even come to your forearms if you'd like. Breathe in here. You can roll onto the blade edge side of your foot and wing that knee open and get into the energy of your hips there. So we're going to spend a few extra breaths here. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Focusing back on the breath, and then notice where you're met with resistance in the body. Where is that bit of pushback? Where's that limit? And then check, is that physical? Is that a mental limit or a mental sensation? Whatever deep expression of this lunge that you're in, you're slowly going to come back. So the hands stacked underneath of the shoulders. You're going to take a bend in your left knee, reach back with your right hand. Shift the weight back into the pelvis and deepen into the twist here. If you were enjoying that outer hip stretch, you can continue to roll onto the blade edge side of that right foot and drop in deeper. This is a really, really big hip and quad stretch. So breathe into those sensations, guys. And when you're met with that resistance, how does that affect you? One more. And then slowly exhale, we're gonna come out of it. You're gonna lift the left knee, lift the hips. Take that right foot up and back. Three-legged dog, bend the knee, peel that hip open one more time. Pause here for a moment, just feeling the energy move freely. And then coming back to downward dog. Maybe you take vinyasa, maybe you skip it. And then together we'll bend the knees, we switch the gaze, and we make our way to the front of the mat. And exhale and fold. An extra breath here as we feel the difference between our right and left side. With a conscious in-breath, we're going to draw our torso up, arms up towards the sky. And then the exhale, we're hinging back down towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, take that right foot back. Drop the right knee. Shift into a low lunge here. So heel toe that left foot over to the left, making space for both of your hands and your shoulders inside of this knee. And then you guys know that we've got 10 breaths here. So you can take this expression as deep as you like. Listen to the body. And then when you find your limit, pause there and then breathe into it. Where is that limit? And is that limit physical? Is it mental? Is it emotional? And recognizing that limit or that resistance, how does it affect your practice? Very slowly, just going to start to come out of this really deep hip opening expression. Coming back to the first variation. We're going to bend our right knee, reach back with our left hand, and then shift your weight back into the pelvis. So you're getting a quad stretch for your right quad, opening up through your left shoulder and your left hip, breathing into the sensations. I don't know about you guys, but this is slightly uncomfortable. My right quad is really, really tight, and I am meeting some resistance there. And the first indicator is because when I'm trying to breathe, my breath is a little rapid and shallow. So I'm going to back out of this stretch so I can breathe freely. One more. And then slowly begin to unwind. Taking the left foot to meet the right, coming into a three-legged dog eventually, opening up through the left hip. If you'd like, you can square off the hips, coming back into downward dog. Maybe you shift into a vinyasa. And one more time, this time we're going to meet in a closed knee child's pose and start to stretch out our back. So after your vinyasa, or if you're ready now, come right into this closed knee child's pose. This is going to be an active child's pose though. So walk your fingers towards the front of the mat, and then tent the fingers and lift the palms and the elbows. Use the strength of your body and actively press your seat into your glutes and walk your hands away. The head is going to hang freely, because remember, your head is just an extension of your spine. And you're going to take 3 big conscious breaths here. And see if you can swallow the breath as it expands through the body, making yourself one big open energy channel. And if you're still met with those areas of tightness and resistance, that's okay. Just acknowledge them. And we're going to walk our hands underneath of our shoulders and just switch to a seat on the mat. Couple more twists before we close out our practice today. So let the right leg go straight. Keep the toes flexed. You're going to bend the left knee and then cross the left foot over the right. So the important thing here is that your right toes are flexed, that your spine is long, and that your shoulders are dropping away from your ears. Use your inhale. Feel your heart lift. And as you exhale from the navel, you're twisting to the left. Using that left hand behind you to keep your torso upright. So if you're leaning back at all, you're going to want to bring that left hand closer to the body. And then using the breath as a guide here. Inhale, feel yourself expand. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. We're going to spend some extra time here. So maybe you close the eye and you follow the breath through the body. Keeping it steady and smooth. One more moment here. Maybe exhaling a little bit deeper. And then inhale, you're going to come center. We're taking a counter twist. So as you exhale, just counter twist to the right, really bowing out through the left side. And then you'll come center. And then very carefully just switch the cross of the leg. So now you're going to bring your right knee or your right foot over your left knee. Toes of the left foot are flexed. Big breath in, lift the sternum, drop those shoulders. Exhale, twist to the right. You know, closing the eyes, it's just an option. You don't have to do it. However, when we close off one of our senses, we heighten the other one. So if you can close the eyes, if you feel comfortable and safe doing that, you may notice that your other senses become heightened. You can really tune into what's happening in the body. I invite you to try it. Follow the breath. Take exhales and move past your edge. Move a little bit deeper. You know, these twists, we're bringing out our detox organs, our kidneys, our liver, our adrenals, our gallbladder, our urinary bladder, our digestive organs. Inhale, come center. Exhale, take that counter twist. And then inhaling, coming back to neutral. So if you have like a cushion nearby or a folded blanket, that is great. I encourage and welcome you to sit on that. I don't have one near me to demonstrate. It's going to help just tilt your pelvis. If you don't have one nearby or you don't feel like getting up and grabbing one, just take a little bend in your knees. This is going to help with the hamstrings and also help with the rotation of your pelvis. Keep your toes flexed. And then inhale, draw the arms up, nice, strong, straight spine. And then exhale, hinging forward like you're looking over the edge of a building. Coming into a forward fold. So you're not rounding here. It's not about getting your face to your knees. You're really keeping your spine straight, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. I like to envision as if I have angel wings and I'm closing my wings and dropping them down my back. That's the same thing you're doing with your scapula. That's going to keep your spine straight. And then you bend the elbows to go deeper into your fold, not rounding the back. Again, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close the eyes. And with each exhale, move deeper into this forward fold. And then the next inhale, you come up. And the exhale, you're coming all the way to supine. Draw the knees in towards the chest. You can rock and tilt your pelvis from side to side if you'd like, or back and forth. We're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So a little bit more hip stretch, but we'll stay supine. So just bring the soles of your feet together. You kind of want to use your hands to clamp them. You're going to draw your heels towards the groin as you let the knees open. So make sure that you are still able to keep your shoulders on the mat. It's okay if you have to lean up a little bit, but you don't want to be completely off the mat. So what you're doing is you're pulling your feet towards you and then you're opening up through your knees, deepening into the stretch. Nice big supported hip stretch here. Again, if you are being met with tightness and resistance, just follow the breath to the epicenter of that. And then exhale, close the knees, hugging them into the chest. You can rock them side to side, giving your kidneys and your adrenals a little bit more of tension before we really slow down our practice. And then keeping hold of the left knee, go ahead and let the right leg go straight out towards the mat. Inhale, drawing the left knee deeper in towards the chest. You're going to exhale and take that left knee over to the right for a supine twist. So this may be where you want to be for your supine twist, and that's great. If you want to try and kick it up a notch, you're going to bend your right knee and take your left hand and reach for your right foot. You can also straighten the left leg if you want to. This is kind of a big stretch. And just make sure that your shoulders are still comfortably on the mat. So this is a little bit more active for a supine twist, but it's a really beautiful stretch if you're comfortable in it. And just start to elongate through the exhales here. Beginning to give yourself permission to unwind, to slow down. Remember, by elongating the exhales, you're tapping into that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest part of your nervous system. And slowly release the bind if you have the bind. Inhale, you'll come back center. You can hug the knees in if you'd like. And then holding on to the right knee, you take the left leg straight. Crossing the right knee over the body for that supine twist. And then maybe you take that bind. In yin yoga, we call this pose cat pulling its tail. I don't really see it, but that's what it's called. Just let the body be soft here. Let the exhales be long. And just feel yourself starting to slip into a state of rest. And when you're ready, you inhale, coming back center. Taking any final movements that maybe your body or your hips are asking for. And then you'll exhale and surrender into your expression of Shavasana. Take your time to get there. Let the feet be wider than the hips. The shoulders are comfortably drawn down the back. The muscles of the face are soft. As you breathe and relax, relax the jaw, letting go any tightness or tension that you're holding on to in your neck and your throat. Relaxing the shoulders and the arms. Softening through your hands. As you breathe and relax, relax the muscles of your upper back, your mid back, and your lower back. Feel yourself as you soften deeper into the mat. Relaxing the rib cage and that area surrounding your heart. The abdomen is soft. As you breathe and relax, relax your glutes. And your thighs. The legs are soft and heavy. As you breathe and relax. Shavasana. And then when you're ready, in no rush and in no real time, you'll begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. Starting to find movement in your fingers and your toes. Reawakening. Allowing these movements to become larger. Maybe you draw the knees in towards the chest. Maybe you reach your arms overhead. Eventually you roll to your side body. Then up to a comfortable seat. The eyes are soft or at a soft gaze or closed. Draw the hands together at heart center in a sign of gratitude. And for just a moment, check in with yourself. How do you feel? What do you feel? And in honor of all that you are. Namaste.